What's up guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another episode on the 71 Cutlass restoration. It has almost been a year since I started working on this car, and literally the metalwork is so close to being done. I hope in this episode we're gonna finish up all of the metalwork and then hopefully start the disassembly to get this car ready for epoxy. Now this car has come a long ways in the last couple of months of us working on it, but today's video is gonna be very monumental for this build because it's either gonna make it or break it. Let me explain. So pretty much last time we got all of the patches put on the body of the Cutlass last time. So we patched everything up here, back through here, on the roof, and then also got the doors thrown on and the fenders thrown on and all of this fixed on the fender right here because I was having tons of issues with fitment over here. But now that everything is where I want it, I have to make sure that the hood closes and latches. So I got the hinges out. I'm gonna get the hood off, get the hood bolted down first, make sure it's sitting exactly where I want it, and then we're going to start doing the gaps. This is probably one of my favorite things to do to cars is gaps. I absolutely love how they look. It is a little bit of work, but I think it's 100% worth it in the end. That is one of the first things that I noticed at a car show is the gaps on the car. So by doing this, we're gonna be perfecting them. And in the end, it's gonna look really sleek and the gaps are gonna look really nice and straight. But like I said, there is a little bit of work that we have to do to get them like that. So I'm gonna get the hood bolted up first and then we're gonna go over the gaps. Line. You can see the gap actually looks really nice. That's kind of what you want to go for, is you want to make sure the gap is even on both sides, and they both look really good. I actually had to shift the core support a little bit that way just so it would give me enough room so that my hood would clear on this side. But now that the hood opens and closes and I know that's exactly where it's going to be, I can actually start doing my gaps.
One of the biggest mistakes that people make when perfecting their gaps is not making sure the edge of the panel they are copying is straight. In most cases, both panels are not perfectly straight, so you have to decide which edge you're going to perfect and which edge you're going to copy. This is how the professional techs get their gaps perfectly straight in metal.
Okay, one gap is finished up. You can see it looks really good. Now it is straight and even all the way down. I love the way that looks. It's gonna look really good once this all is bodywork together. So now I'm going to jump to the front of the door and we're gonna start to do that gap. Driver side gaps, they're done. They are finished. So we're so close. The passenger side is going to be so much easier. So I don't really know what happened to this driver side, but none of my panels seem to line up. Even where we cut the corner in here and we left this part original, it still didn't line up with the door at all. So that's why I had to pretty much cut and reshape all of this right here just to make that fit. But you can see this gap looks so good. I'm so happy with this. Oh, this car's gonna look so sick once it's body worked. These gaps really do look so nice. And now you can see this one and this one have been perfected. They look so good. So time to jump to the passenger side and let me kind of squeeze in here quick. These gaps really are not that bad. You can see they look pretty nice already. I think I'm only just gonna have to go in and hit a couple spots and perfect them. And then really the gaps are one of the last things that we had to do metalwork wise. So we are almost there. I'm gonna get the car off my stands. I'm gonna get it moved over. That way I can get to the other side. Okay, gaps are finished. This car is so close to epoxy. I'm getting so excited. So let me show you the gaps on this passenger side. They came out really nice. So come over to this passenger door. You can see it looks really good, even all the way down. I actually had to slit the door in right here or grind it right here just because it bowed out. And so I had to slit it and make that gap even. But looks great right there. And then you come to the fender here. We had to pretty much fill there, slit the fender, bring it in so that it would match on this plane right here, and then also build the fender right here. It was great through here, and then we had to build it all the way down to the bottom of the rocker. So now that the gaps are finished, the last thing we have to do metalwork wise is the hood. So this is probably one of the things that I'm most nervous about on this car since I've started this car. We're actually gonna be building some custom hood scoops for this car. I have never built hood scoops before in my life, but I've never done a lot of this before, and it's come out really good. I've learned so much, and really that is the best way for me, at least for me, is hands-on experience doing this stuff by hand, learning from my mistakes, growing, becoming better. That's really what building these cars is all about. It pretty much shapes you and helps you become this amazing car builder. I mean, this doesn't happen overnight. This takes time. It takes years and years of practice and lots of experience. So I'm really excited to build these scoops. This is either going to make or break this car. So this is the hood to the Cutlass right now. This is just what the stock hood looks like. And this hood is actually in great condition. We are going to be building a 442 hood out of this. So the Cutlasses came like this, just a factory Cutlass, and then they also came the Cutlass 442, which is a more rare option. It had the 442, of course. And then the difference in hoods between this and the 442 is the 442 has two big scoops that start about right here and go all the way back to about here. So they're pretty much the whole span of the hood. And there are two of them. So pretty much where the stripes are, one here and one here. So we are pretty much going to be building those scoops-ish, but modifying them a little bit to make them look a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more unique to this car. Pretty much everything on this car we've done has been custom, and so I didn't just want to throw the original scoops on. I kind of wanted to throw my own little touch on it. So I went to the metal store last week, got some 18 gauge metal. I did want to do it a little bit thicker just because of how long these scoops are, and I want them to be strong. I don't want them to be flopping around. And then I also went to the art store and picked up some of this cardboard. It's almost like a super thin cardboard that I'm going to use to pretty much make mock-ups hood scoops before I cut them out of metal. This is way cheaper to do, and it's way cheaper to make all these patches and make sure they fit before you cut them out of metal. So I'm gonna be building them out of this cardboard first and then cutting them out of metal. But first things first, these kind of fake vents have to go. So I'm gonna open the hood, pull these off first, and then I'm gonna start pretty much clean all the dust off the hood. We're gonna start laying out tape to kind of see where the hood scoops are gonna start and stop. And then it'll be time to start cutting up these sheets and kind of building scoops. So my goal is I'm gonna build one scoop a little bit more slick and the other one a little bit more aggressive. And then my buddy's gonna come down and see which one he likes more. And then we'll build the one that he likes more.
So I don't think you guys understand how much pressure this put on me. I've never ever built any custom hood scoops before, let alone huge long hood scoops like the Cutlass 442 has. But I'm really hoping that it's gonna come out nice. As you know, this is a completely stock hood, so if I ruin this hood, it's really gonna suck. So
kind of mocked up. So I decided to do two different sizes of hood scoops just so we could kind of see which one we liked more. You can see this one on the right is a 2-inch raise. This one is a 3-inch raise. Now that 3-inch is absolutely insane. I actually wasn't a huge fan of this. I thought I would like it more. I actually like the 2-inch a little bit more. And that's good because I called my buddy and he doesn't like the 3-inch. He likes the 2-inch. But you can kind of see that is how it's gonna look on both sides. I love that look. See, it's a little bit too big. It's just too much. It's doing too much. That's not what we're trying to do. So love this look. I think this looks a lot like the 442 hood, and that's kind of what we were going for. But honestly, that wasn't terrible. That wasn't too hard. So I'm going to modify this one a little bit more, widen it, make it look a little bit better, and then we'll check back in and see how it looks.
So when I actually went to the metal store, I got two strengthen everything up.
This is by far the hardest thing I've ever tried to do on any car that I've ever restored. I really didn't think building custom hood scoops like this was going to be that difficult. I don't know why I thought that, but getting this right is so important because this is going to be the first thing that you see when you walk up to the car. So it's either going to make or break this build. So I got both of these structures pretty much finished in the TIG rod. So you can see underneath, all of the TIG rod pretty much holds it up. Now I did this just so I can get a vision of what the scoops are gonna look like, and then also I'm gonna actually keep them there and use them as structure so that this doesn't flop as he goes down the road. One of the big changes that I made was I actually grabbed this hood scoop and I pulled them forward 6 inches. There was a lot of empty space up here that we didn't like, and so once I pulled those forward, I decided it looked a lot better. We also decided to run this opening at an angle, which helped kind of fill in this space right here. I'm absolutely loving the way that this is looking. This right here was probably one of the most challenging parts to do, but I really think it's coming out so good. I'm really excited to see how these turn out. So the next step for me is I'm going to build this out of metal first on this side, and then I'm going to transfer it to this side, build this side out of metal, so just the front pieces are going to be in metal. And then if I like the way that that's looking, I'm actually going to move to the back, get the back pieces done next because those are going to be the next hardest, and then doing these filler pieces on the side will be the last part to these scoops. So still got a ton of work to do, but I'm going to try and knock this out, try and get most of this done tonight.
I can't even put into words how excited I was when I finally got the front of one of the hood scoops mocked up. These really have come so far, and honestly, when I first started this, I was pretty nervous. I wasn't sure how they would look, but now I am absolutely loving the way they are coming out. Once I got the front of the hood scoops mocked up, it was time to strip all of the edges where the hood scoops were going to touch of the original hood down to bare metal. Now I wanted to do this just so I could tack the TIG rod in place to get both of the hood scoops perfectly even with each other and centered on the hood. Once I got both of the scoops tacked to the TIG rod structure and then both of the structures tacked and centered on the hood, it was time to get the front of the hood pieces cut out of metal and mocked up. And it was actually really cool to see how the front of these hood scoops came out. I'm really happy with them. There are still a lot of little things that I have to do to make them look better and better, but as I go, they are just turning out absolutely phenomenal.
Holy crap, these hood scoops are actually kicking my butt. Let me show you where I'm at. So I got the front pretty much all mocked up in metal. So I added this piece right here, which just pretty much offsets this front. And we did that just so it would fill up a little bit more room in the front of the hood right there. I think that looks really nice. That's kind of the look that we were going for. I'm really liking the shape that these scoops have to them. They kind of flow back with the hood. And that's really the look that we were going for. So not only did I get the front mocked up, I also had to go in and cut these pieces out right here. The old hood had these filler kind of fake vents in before, so I just pretty much bent a piece on the brake, and now I'm gonna slid this off right on this line right here. So this has been a ton of work, and I am mentally exhausted from doing this. There's so much planning and so much measuring and laying things out that you're really not working physically, but mentally you are stressing and straining. I have definitely had a couple sleepless nights thinking about these hood scoops. But I think they're coming out really nice. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. But let's keep going. Let's get the sides of these hood scoops built, and hopefully we'll be able to kind of see what they're gonna look like. Okay, so the rear of the hood scoop is pretty much mocked up in cardboard. So you can see it's pretty much gonna come off at an angle like this, and then it's just gonna slope down just a little bit towards the back right here. So this really shouldn't be too bad. Just gotta build the back pieces, these 4 side pieces, and then the exterior of the hood scoop should of the first side is pretty much tacked into place. So what I was trying to do is pretty much just follow this curve and have it come off, and then the Cutlass 442 hood pretty much turns at a 45 and then drops into the hood just like that. So I'm liking how that looks. The other side isn't tacked, but you could see These are not parallel with each other. They are kind of at, I'd say like a 5, maybe a 7-degree angle, and they kind of start to go parallel with the edge of the hood. That is how the Cutlass 442 hoods are, so we decided to copy that. So now that this is tacked into place, and I'm actually really liking how this is looking, you can see how big this hood scoop is from the back. I swear I've never seen hood scoops this big, let alone tried to build hood scoops this big. I am really liking how it's coming out. What I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to build these side pieces. So I'm going to get those side pieces built, get them tacked into place, and then if I like how that's looking, then I'm going to go to the other one and I'm going to copy it onto that one. Okay, so the sides are made in cardboard, and honestly, this is giving the scoop a really good look. I love that. So I'm going to take them off now, transfer them to my metal. It sucks because I really only have one shot to do this because this is all the metal I have left. So I'm going to try and get this right. If I don't get this right, I'm going to have to go buy more metal. So I'm going to pull this off. I'm going to transfer it to the metal and start cutting them out, and then hopefully get them on and try to tack.
These hood scoops have been so much work, but man, I am so pleased with how they have come out. It was really cool to get these sides of the scoops built out of metal and everything tacked into place. That really gave me an idea of what I was building, and I really couldn't be more pleased with what I built.
We really should be pretty close to finishing up the metalwork in the next episode. So as soon as these hood scoops are done, I have to do a little bit of mock-up with vintage air, and then it will be time to start to disassemble this and get it ready for epoxy. So that's gonna be really cool, and we're about to make some huge progress on this car. Seeing it in a different color is going to be amazing. I'm so excited to get there. But this car has come so far. It's almost been a year since I started this, so I'm really trying to grind and get this thing done. But with all these custom modifications, it just takes so long. But in the end, this car is going to be so cool. I'm really excited to show you guys the reveal of this car when it's finished. So on that note, make sure you subscribe, make sure you leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know what you guys are thinking about these hood scoops. If you like them, if you don't like them. I love to hear feedback from you guys, so please let me know what your thoughts are. And if this is the first time you guys are tuning into the 71 Cutlass build, be sure to go check out all my other videos. I have tons of other videos pretty much building this car. So get ready, because we're about to make lots of changes to this car. In the next one, we're going to finish up these hood scoops and hopefully get the metalwork finished up on this car. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys next time. Peace out.